Hello, everybody. This is Fernando for the latest Las Vegas podcast. I haven't done one of these in a while because I haven't been in Vegas for a while, for about a good couple of quarters or so now. So I wanted to go ahead and talk about some interesting stuff that I came across while I was at a most recent trip in Las Vegas. Just came back from it a couple days back. And again, I came across this while I was having some downtime and I was reviewing some of the news articles that are there. There's surprisingly a lot of news outlets there in Las Vegas, and not surprisingly, many of the topics, of course, have to do with the casinos there. And what was interesting to find out was that there's actually the casinos there. You would think that they're doing good business, but in actuality, they're swimming in debt. I mean, that's the best way to put it when it comes to these things. They're basically like two major casino resorts that are there in Las Vegas. There's the Caesars Entertainment Corp, which I think houses like Planet Hollywood. They have Caesars. They have Bally's. I think they even have the Flamingos. They have an area there, in other words, that's towards the middle of Las Vegas, where that's where their casinos are. And then the other one is MGM Resorts, which is more towards the left or the south side of Las Vegas, and they house the Excalibur. They house New York, New York. They house MGM Grand, Mandalay Bay, and others on there. You'll notice a theme too. The casinos tend to do this a lot. They'll house their own casinos within their own section of the city, and that way people that are coming as tourists, they're more inclined to stay within a local area rather than have to walk, let's say, miles just to get to the next type of resort out there. It keeps people, in other words, local. It keeps them to their area, which makes business sense. But what does not make business sense was finding out that both of these resorts are swimming in debt. I mean, they owe billions of dollars. Caesars, it turns out, is the largest one of all. They have about $24 billion in debts, or IOUs. And that's amazing. It's amazing to think because, again, with the times that I've been there in Vegas, one would think that they would be swimming in dough, that they would have like record profits, record cash, record everything, because everything is, if not super expensive in Vegas, it's at least subsidized in a way where it shouldn't cost that much to the casinos. And what I mean is this: I mean, your average gambler there is probably gonna put a couple $100 into the machines. Those machines shouldn't cost much to run. And when it comes to your average machine, probably your home, your LED TV at home or your LCD TV at home, the large flat screen, probably wastes more energy than your average, maybe a couple of machines, because most of them are in play, but a lot of them are not, especially during the downtime, during the way late hours, like into the 6 a.m. type thing. I mean, granted, you're going to have a lot of people around during the, let's say, lunch period, then it gets more busier during the afternoon, then it gets really busy during the evening and towards the night, but that's about it, really. And then on top of that, MGM Resorts, they didn't have as much debt as Caesars, but they still have something. I mean, theirs, I think, was around, was it 14, somewhere around there, 10 to 14 billion or so that they are in debt right now. So again, it's perplexing to hear those large numbers, because here you have places that, I mean, people are practically giving them money, hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars per person. And these people that come in Vegas gets around, according to the tourist bus that I took, Vegas gets around 40 million people that come on trips, 40 million visitors on a yearly basis. So even if you do just rudimentary math, and let's say each person just spends $100, I mean, you're talking at least into billions with regards to that. So it's hard to understand again how they're that much in debt when it comes to, again, so much being subsidized by the tourism industry. And then on top of that, when I also say subsidized, I mean this: so many of their employees there, I mean, the casinos do not have to pay full-time benefits, full-time work, full-time hourly wages, stuff like that, because so many of the employees there just work on tips. I mean, when you go there, your average bellhop, your average person at the what do you call it? not the bellhop, but the valets, your average waiter inside all of the buffets, the average person that handles the front area of the restaurants. Probably not the housekeepers, but the people that bring the food up for housekeeping services, like let's say you order dinner service, those people that come up, I mean, they all work pretty much for tips. They all probably get paid a smaller amount of dollars per hour because they're working for tips. So when you have thousands and thousands and thousands of employees, probably dozens of thousands of employees who are not being paid on a full-time hourly wage and are probably on all part-time statuses, so they don't have essentially health benefits or any other type of benefits that most companies would have to pay for, then where's this debt all going to? That's why I found it so weird to read this, because again, when your average hotel, I mean, take your average Hilton. Your average Hilton isn't swimming in debt. I mean, then they have what should be comparable set of rooms. So granted, something like the MGM Grand, which has over 6,000 rooms, your average Hilton is not going to be as large as that. But if you take your average Hilton, which has a couple hundred rooms, and you put in the proper number of employees in comparison to the MGM Grand and how many number of rooms and employees they have, well, your average Hilton isn't swimming in billions of dollars of debt. Instead, somehow these casino hotels are, which is so strange. And what was even more baffling, and what got me looking into all of this at the beginning, was I took one of those large big red bus tours. Very fascinating stuff, by the way. I highly recommend those if you have a chance, if you're ever in Vegas and you want to get away from the machines. Just take one of these bus tours, and then that way you'll see and hear everything regarding Vegas. But they passed by two properties that were just completely stopped in terms of construction. One of them was a half-built large blue casino hotel that apparently ran out of money. And then another one was going to be a Ferris wheel of sorts that also ran out of money. And that's what got me interested in looking this information up with regards to, how the rest of the casinos are doing, because it's baffling to think you would never have something like that happen with your average, let's say, like again, Hilton, your average Hilton hotel that's being built. Hilton would have everything allocated almost to the dollar in terms of, okay, this is the project, this is the budget, this is the time period, we need to get this done. We're not going to leave, in other words, this job halfway through and realize, oops, we ran out of money. It doesn't happen that way, but there in Vegas, it happened with two properties. They're there right now, standing in the middle there of Vegas, one towards one corner, one towards the other corner, and they are just halted, just stopped. And it led me to think, how much mismanagement is going on in Vegas, because if you have those two properties that are flat out done for, and nobody's going to really pick them up now, and then you have MGM Resorts, and then you have Caesars Entertainment Group, both of them who should be swimming in dollars, instead they're swimming in debt. What kind of mismanagement is going on there? It's weird, it's crazy, but it's happening right now. So very fascinating stuff. If anyone has any more details related to this, post your comments, share them below on there. But again, it makes you weird. It makes you wonder, next time you're in Vegas and you see all these people there, all these dollars going into the slot machines, going into the overpriced food for the people that actually pay for the hotels, the overpriced hotel prices, because some of them can go into several $100s. And then not to mention most of the staff there, again, being paid by tips, being subsidized by the tourism industry. Makes you wonder, where does all that money go? Why are they so in debt? So anyways, just a topic I wanted to talk about here. Fascinating stuff. And again, if anybody else has any more information, post them here as always. Thank you. Take care.